This earnings season continues to unfold. Let's dig into S&P 500 companies that are reporting on Thursday, November 6th. So I'm looking at this over on my well charts using price action, market timing, and momentum because I'm HEMA ready and that's what I do. So let's dive in. Now, this one's interesting. Ticker DD, DuPont. It has already had a massive gap lower based on maybe an analyst call or some other news. So I would be a little bit careful about this one into earnings because it's already had a lot of drama. And so this is a gigantic gap. Gaps generally get filled over time, but not necessarily immediately. So I'd want to see a little more data about how substantial this recovery is before getting in on this action. All right, ticker EPAM. This is a stock that has a nice steady downtrend. This is a great example of the RSI power zones in action. And you can always bring in more on top of your price action by looking at candlesticks and not just looking at the traditional candlestick patterns, but looking at what's underneath. And I'm getting into that today in a live workshop. Check my events calendar if you want to join in. So right now, looking like we may resume lower and push maybe down towards 135. All right, Moderna, ticker MRNA. This is also a weak looking stock, having recently held in the bear resistance power zone. It's coming up to this area of support that's been anchored by the September 12th low, but I don't think it's going to hold. So watch out below. Ticker VTRS. Now, this stock had a recent little tiny consolidation, pullback, and is resuming higher. It has some resistance up ahead, but I want you to see how it's at a nice kind of low risk area here. So if your stop was somewhere below the October 27th low, that would be a low risk opportunity if you want to take advantage of a potential resumption of this bigger retracement of the last decline. Ticker EVRG. This is a stock that's had a pullback after peaking in the bull resistance power zone, coming back towards bull support. So this isn't where you'd stick your hand out and buy because, again, earnings can cause crazy price action to happen. But what is really misunderstood is that even if there are earnings, it's not always going to lead to a giant move, okay? Sometimes the reaction to earnings is a little more subtle. So I would keep an eye out for the formation of a trough in the bull support power zone, ideally while you stay above the October 2nd low as a potential buying opportunity. All right, Wynn Resorts, ticker WYNN. This is in a consolidation that has been in place since the October 2nd high. And it's really just been over the August 8th low. Even though it never got quite back to those price levels, it hasn't broken below that low either. So I would put boundaries around this, okay? A falling trend line, a rising trend line, and see if you can't get a breakout above the high from October 27th. That would be, to me, a sign of a new move higher. MNST, Monster Beverage. This has had a nice little healthy pullback and is putting in a great little bullish candlestick pattern. I'll dig into this a little more deeply in my workshops and coaching, but you want to look at where the positioning is of the open and the close in a candle. I know that's the basic mechanics to how candles are formed, but I don't think enough traders really lean in on making those observations because it gives you clues, again, further inside the candle about what might unfold. That in combination with the RSI power zones action here, I think there's room for further upside. Ticker EOG has had a steady down move since early September, but it's now starting to lighten up a bit. There is a defensive pattern here on the RSI power zones forming. I think there could be room for further recovery if it can get above the October 23rd high. All right, and last but not least, ticker LNT. This is a stock that's also had a nice little healthy pullback. RSI power zones are back in bull support. So if we can see a move above the November 3rd high, that would be the bigger picture confirmation I'd want to see in price for a resumption higher to retest the more recent peak from October 24th and beyond. All right. That's a look at stocks that are reporting on November 6th. If you found value in this video, takeaways about analysis, a look at momentum, some ideas for your own portfolio, go ahead and hit the like button, and I'll catch you in the next video.